Welcome to another episode of Spirit Talk. We got an interesting question on the suicide video I recently did on YouTube. I decided to do a follow-up video on it. And my little assistant today is Maxie. He's not feeling well today, so we're giving him a little extra love. So our question comes from Emily Simpson, and she had a few questions within a question. So I'm going to go over those now with you. If a person ends life by suicide, do the lessons learned until that still count? Yes. Any lessons being learned, they always filter over into continued learning. Absolutely. That is not wasted learning whatsoever. It kind of reminds me of maybe studying for an exam. All that studying doesn't go to waste when you take the exam, correct? You continue to take that learning on after the exam to take another exam that maybe might apply to it. The next follow-up question that she asks is, will they have to relearn those learned lessons too? It depends. If they weren't grasping the learned lesson, then yes, they may have to continue the jumping off point of what was retained and understood and then continue on. If they have to relearn a lesson, it means they didn't obtain it enough for it to take hold. So let's say, for example, if somebody's explaining something to you and you didn't retain it, you didn't understand anything they said, wouldn't you go back to try to listen to it again so you do try to better understand it? If you can do that here, you're going to do that in the spiritual realm as well. If you listen to something, it's just flying right over your head. You're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you say that again to me? Then it gets repeated until you understand it. Lessons can be relearned if it wasn't obtained the very first time or the second time or the third time. It will be retained and repeated until it's understood. Another question that she had that I thought was really interesting that I'm kind of like, why didn't I put that in the first video? Because I didn't even think of doing that. I would like to answer that now for you here. The question was, what happens to souls of people choosing assisted suicide or help to end their life? I know in some places you can get access to that if you have psychiatric diagnosis and nothing has improved. I would love to learn more. So interesting. I love this question because it puts you in a gray area of like, well, is that accepted? If somebody helps you and they're involved now and they're assisting. I just recently did a video on fate versus karma. When a soul decides that they have learned everything they need to learn from what they're learning, and it's now becoming just so hard on them that they don't feel like they're learning anything else, this is a way out for them. It's like a clause within a clause of a soul contract. The suicide video I originally did, I explained this, that a soul can decide when they are done learning, that this isn't held against them. This is a school. If you're in college and you're having a really hard time with the learning, wouldn't you go to the dean and say, hey, listen, I'm kind of having a hard time with this course. I either need to stop doing what I'm doing and do something else, or I need to change the course to maybe something more interesting that would catch my attention because I'm basically drowning in this course right now. I cannot understand it. I'm not learning anything. Is there a way you can help me? This is you actually in the spiritual realm asking your guides, if I'm having a hard time, can I put something in my contract saying I need a way out to come back and refresh and maybe try it again or try something else? You have that choice. You have that free will choice that was given to you as a gift by who? God, who created you. He gives you the free will choice that if you're having a hard time learning, you have that choice to use that clause in your contract to retract and go back and say, okay, either I need to start from scratch, change the course, learn something new, or I need to better understand where I went wrong and why it's so hard on me down there. I just can't take it. People that have cancer or diagnoses that are just wearing the body down, but the soul is so tired and it knows it needs to go back. Like there's this deep sense of knowing that I need to go back. This is their clause of getting a way out. In the first video of the suicide video, I explained, and I think mentioned it in the ICU video as well. ICU patients can hear you and experience you as they're in that sleeping state, that there has to be a jolt to the system for the soul to be let loose. Car accident, gunshot, knife wound. Whereas an older person or somebody that's very, very sick can easily slip out of the body. Now, if the body's just like, yeah, I'm not letting go, like this is legit, I'm not ready to let go, but the soul knows it needs to let go, there has to be some kind of assistance and allowing the soul to be released from that grip. And this is where the assistance comes in. People that know how to release the soul when the body is just so upset and angry that it's going through this and it just wants to keep continuing, but the soul's like, I'm not learning anything. I need to let this go. I need to regroup, come back. This is where this comes in. It depends if there's karma. That's where the gray area is. Is this an easy way out for you? Or is this a legit knowing from the other side that it's time to leave? Or is this, I've had enough, I'm not gonna try anymore? Most souls that come here don't want to waste their time. And they also understand that if they leave early in their learning, that it's just going to continue from the point that they stopped it. It's all gray areas when it comes to human understanding of this kind of concept. There has to be a legit deep knowing that this is your time to go. If it's just an ego-based, physical-based, I'm just done, I don't want to do this anymore, that's where the karma comes in. And the person assisting, there could be karma attached to that somehow, because if they're not coming from a loving stance on it and it's more of we want to get rid of you because you're a nuisance or you're a burden, then that's going to be karma. If it's coming from love and they know that you know your soul needs to go and regroup, and decide to come back and try again, then that's not a karmatic base. See, that's where the gray comes in. How are you reacting to the situation at hand? Are you coming from a soul-based understanding or a physical-based demanding? I love this question. It was so great, Emily, for you to provide this question on the YouTube video. You are definitely a thinker. I am surprised I didn't even put this in the first video. And for those of you who want to watch that first video, it is called Where Do Suicidal Souls Go? Spirit Talk episode on the YouTube channel Moon Air, EIR. So if you want to watch that video, you can go to the YouTube channel and watch that. Also, the ICU. Are my loved ones hearing me? Do they hear me? Are they on the other side? Are they sleeping? So that is a very interesting video as well. I do discuss a lot of interesting things on that video, so you're going to want to take advantage of watching that. And for those of you who have questions or comments, please comment below. I love reading them. I possibly might make a video, a follow-up video on the question. If it's super interesting and I feel it's going to help others and provide information to others, I would love for those comments and questions to come forward. I can provide the answers you guys need to know to better your lives now. Nothing is too stupid or dumb. I've heard it all. I've seen it all. Provide me your question. Throw me your question. I would love to do a video or answer it personally and see where this discussion goes. This is a great topic. It's very important for you guys to know these things so that if you ever come across a situation that's similar, you'll know how to handle it better. And I thank you all for watching this episode of Spirit Talk. I will see you on the next one.